Next up, 4-2 Vikings at the 2-2-1 Lions. Yes, the refs didn't do Detroit any favors last Monday at Lambeau, but it was the Lions who were 3 of 13 on third down and settled for 5 field goals. They host a Minnesota team that is finally seeing a return on their investment to Kirk Cousins. He's had now back-to-back 300-yard passing games, 3 touchdown passes to Stephon Diggs last week in their impressive win over the Eagles. Hub, what do the insiders say?
Well, with Minnesota, guys, it's still all about Kirk Cousins. The difference is now it's promising, and last week was a big game. The games he doesn't show up for, Philadelphia in their building, he had his best game of the year. Stephon Diggs went off. If the Vikings can continue to get good play from Kirk Cousins, they're awfully solid everywhere else. And by the way, even with that big passing game, they still ran the ball 35 times, only threw it 29 times. That's the Kevin Stefanski. Turn it around in the Lions. I did that game. The national radio call was on the sidelines. Walking off the field at halftime, Matt Patricia was talking about our mental mistakes, our not taking advantage of turnovers in the red zone, the stupid penalties. Forget the ones the officials blew. 12 men on the field that takes a field goal off the board and turns into a touchdown. They need playmakers. They're playing better football. They're more sound coaching-wise. But, Dave, they still don't have explosion on either side of the ball.
No, they don't. And, you know, I'll tell you, when I look at this game, Minnesota does not want this game to come down and be a one-score game at the end of the game. Because the way Stafford's playing right now, I mean, the check goes to him. And yeah, Dalvin Cook is going to run the ball. The Vikings are going to try to do something. You mentioned Kirk Cousins. I mean, he's the elephant in the room no one wants to talk about. But after the last couple of weeks, guess what? Now Diggs is all happy. He's smiling, right? Thielen's all happy. So that locker room, all of a sudden, you know, they're all kind of together on the same page, supporting Cousins. Little different attitude there than it was after the Bears game. So I don't know. I like Minnesota.
Yeah, you gotta like Minnesota. You know, think about Detroit. They're gonna be seething, but they gotta blame themselves. You know, the inefficiency down in the red zone last week. They've let a couple of games slip away in the final seconds. They've got to learn how to close. Minnesota, on the other hand, they look like they're coming on, but you can't blame Matt Stafford. He's been very judicious with the ball this year. Detroit is 6th in turnover takeaway. I can't remember when they were that high. This could be a very close game, but I think some way the Vikings come up with it.
Everybody's going with Minnesota to win at Ford Field.
When I was growing up, first day of school, I knew the teachers were going to get it wrong. I knew that whenever we had a substitute teacher, they were going to get it wrong.
You're doing things on the football field that not a lot of people have done before you, but yet a lot of people still can't pronounce your name. Set the record straight.
A lot of people tend to say Danielle, but it's pronounced Danielle. My mom, she decided to put 2 people's names together. My uncle and her father's, she just came up with Danielle.
You came to the States when you were 8 from Jamaica. Let's be honest, Jamaica's not really known for football. So how were you introduced to the sport?
One of my friends, his dad was a football coach. So we were playing tag outside. I ran by, he took his glasses down and looked at me like, son, you should try to play football. And I was like, sure, why not?
And how old were you when you started?
I was 9, 10. I played left tackle. And then I started to play fullback. And then I played running back, then receiver. That was my freshman year of high school. Coach, he put me at defensive end, and ever since I've been a defensive end.
And he's sacked again! It's another one for the unstoppable Danielle Hunter!
You're doing things at a whole nother level. When you came out of LSU, you were drafted in the 3rd round. You fly under the radar. Do you wish that you had more attention?
Honestly, you know, most of the guys that are first-round picks, they automatically get attention and all that. But lower-round guys, you know, they got to work their way up in order to get stuff. I had some friends and teammates, they always like do this and do that to get more attention, and I'm like, nah, just gonna stay me.
Ferocity of one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
Is there a quarterback that you get more excited to sack than any other?
Man, there's one quarterback that I've always wanted to sack.
Who?
Tom Brady. Man, because I've watched him growing up and all that.
Let's say get a sack against Tom Brady. Do you help him up?
I don't ever help up the quarterback after that.
Even Tom Brady, you're not
helping. That's just enough.
Okay, so the defensive unit is such a tight group, and then when the offense has the well-documented drama that we've seen play out over the last few weeks, how do you guys compartmentalize that?
Well, we just try to control what we can control. We try to go out there and make turnovers, do our jobs in order to give the offense back the ball in order for them to continue to make plays.
What's the vibe right now in the locker room?
Oh, it's a good vibe. We're all focused. You can tell that everybody's focused in on doing their part. we look in each other's eyes and we see that we're ready to just go out there and compete.
Job, Carissa. Very good. Yeah, I gotta love this defense. I mean, every defensive coach has a goal board. You try to hold them under 17 points. These guys are like holding opponents to 15 points or less a game. And with the offensive style they run, you guys can appreciate this. They're kind of on the conservative side. Heavy run, right, with Dalvin Cook. Yeah. Play action pass, conservative. You need a defense to create opportunities for your offense if you're going to be a championship team. And they've got playmakers on all three levels. Obviously, Hunter and that crew. You got Anthony Barr and all those linebackers. You got Harrison Smith and the DBs. Whoa! I mean, it's a lot of talent, well coached.
You know, Tony, when I was at the facility a couple days ago, there's a good energy, right? Because winning cures all blemishes. Do you think that they're back on track there offensively?
Absolutely. And, she's talking about just looking at them on paper, offensively, defensively. This is one of the best teams in the NFL. And I don't know if you remember, Chris, we went out there and did the preseason game.
Yeah, I do remember that, Tony. How could I forget?
I can't forget either. And they are really, really good. And offensively, looking at Kirk Cousins right now, I give credit to Zimmer. Let Kirk be Kirk. Go out there, take the good, the bad, and ugly. I've said it before. You got Dalvin Cook who can run the football, but you got two of the best receivers in the league in Diggs and Thielen, and you saw what's happened the last couple weeks. You get those guys involved to go with that running game, to go with that defense. Mm-hmm. This is one of the best teams in the NFL.
On the other side of the ball, Mike.
So come on in and stay along, folks. I'm Kurt Menefee. Thank you for joining us here for Week 7 in the NFL. Lucky as always, sit alongside Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy. Hello, boys.
Hey, what's up, Kurt?
What's up?
Hey,
What's up?
Hey,
Great
this
week.
I lost 2 pounds this week.
Where?
That's like,
You know how? That's like finally spent some money.
that's like taking a cup of water out of Lake Erie. I told Howie that I needed to get America thinking that I'm smart. Howie says, wear glasses like I do.
That's
They'll
it.
make you
I was going to
smart.
say those are new glasses.
Check it out.
America, does he look smart?
It doesn't help.
It's not working. Why don't we move on and give you a little sports nugget from me in case you missed it, File. The Vikings, Minnesota's Danielle Hunter has followed up in his Pro Bowl campaign from a year ago with 6 sacks in 6 games, which is among the league leaders. And you know what? We hear a lot about guys like Harrison Smith and Everson Griffin on that standout Vikings defense. But Carissa Thompson, the time to give Danielle Hunter his day in the spotlight is long overdue.
You're right about that, Kurt. And with all of the drama on the offensive side of the ball in Minnesota, this defense has stood firm and continued to block out all the distractions. And ahead of their divisional showdown with the Lions today, I sat down with Danielle to see if he can continue to make history before his 25th birthday, just 9 days from now.
God designed a defensive end. He designed Danielle Hunter.
You are one of the most underrated superstars.
I picked the wrong defensive line because Danielle Hunter's putting on a clinic.
Does that bother you?
Not really.
Y'all knew that he was a freak, but my goodness, this guy is on a tear right now.
I like the way it is because I feel like I'm an assassin. I'm in a room, no one knows I'm there, but I'm there. A long time ago, I used to be kind of a thinker. I'd always try to think things through, and that stuff kind of slows you down.
Just watch Danielle Hunter's effort. He's getting rewarded for the work that he puts in.
Well done, young man.
You've reported your 46th career sack, which is an NFL record for the most sacks for someone under the age of 25. How does that sound when I say it?
It sounds pretty good. It was a long road to get there. I definitely didn't do it by myself. Older guys, they laid out the way for me to just come in as a young player.
Danielle Hunter and Everson Griffin to join Joseph up front. What a dynamic duo they are.
They had the role of being the starters and all that, so I just sat down and I just learned from them.
Who were guys that you looked at growing up?
Well, my dad, he was a Giants fan, and he used to always watch Michael Strahan.
Never heard of him. What was his name?
Michael Strahan.
Oh, Michael Strahan.
Yeah, he used to always watch the games, see like the Giants and Strahan. So every time he would get a sack, he would be like, yes, and just he would be all in for him. That's just part of the reason why I know so much about him.
Do you have a message for him?
Michael Strahan, you're the best, man. I like you.
He's a likable guy.
I mean, wow. His dad was a fan.
His dad was a fan. And Carissa, you were there with him. I mean, it seems like such a nice
kid on top of being just such a talented player.
He so is, Michael. It's so funny you say that because he was quiet, and I was like, do you like interviews? And he's like, I'm okay, I just don't like to talk about myself. I'm like, well, your stats are talking for you. I mean, the number 46 sacks, the youngest to do it before he turns 25. And I mean, I know, Kurt, you joke about the fact that his dad likes Strahan. He couldn't have had nicer things to say about you and playing at such a high level.
Well, he had me at hello. How about that? This is a kid, though. He left LSU early, thought he was going to be a first-round pick, went in the third round, drafted basically off of potential, and boy, has he lived up to that potential and beyond. And he's part of a great defense right now. They swept the Lions last year, 10 sacks on Matthew Stafford. With this defense, with him being a big part of this defense, it gives Zimmer such a freedom to let Kirk Cousins loose. Let him throw the ball like they've done. They've been more balanced. 33 runs, 29 passes last week. That's what they need to do to win. A balanced offense, just let this defense get loose. And Danielle Hunter, the big reason they can do that.
We talk about the New England coaching tree and what a lack of success they've had. And I think Matt Patricia and a guy from New England at the GM spot, and they brought in a number of players from New England, has done a great job there. And I think they're one ill-advised timeout call in the first game of the season and some bad officiating calls from possibly being 4-1. This is a really good football team. If they clean up the turnovers and they get the red zone in order, it'll be a big challenge today versus this defense. But I think they're moving in the right direction.
Jacksonville, that's all I got, folks.
That's plenty. That was good.
Yeah,
we applaud
you interrupted me.
No, I was just trying to set the record straight.
Interrupting when I'm working.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
All right. Lesson learned. Howie, 21-21.
Yeah, 5 touchdowns between these two quarterbacks. When you talk about the NFC North, the conversation starts with, obviously, with Aaron Rodgers, but these two guys, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, are putting on a pretty good show here early on. Stafford with a little bit of a waggle, a bootleg. Here finds Danny Amendola on a 3rd and 9. Here he finds Marvin Jones. Good coverage, great throw, great catch, touchdown. And then we got Kirk Cousins, rolls out to his left, tough throw. Finds Thielen, great catch, great throw in the back of the end zone. Here on just a go route, 50-50 ball to Diggs for 27. Both quarterbacks playing really well.
Both playing really good. No, but I mean, both playing really well. But if you're going to, go into early in the season, who's going to be the better quarterback? You probably say Matthew Stafford. But it looks like they're trusting Kirk Cousins a lot more. They're running Cook. Dalvin Cook's having a great game as well. But Minnesota Vikings are finding the balance. That's what they've missed. They have a great defense, but you're going to need a great offense to go with it, and you're going to have to trust your quarterback, especially when you paid him how much money?
A lot. $84 million guaranteed.
Don't give it to him.
Don't let me smell $84 million.
Give Coach Zimmer credit here for saying, hey, you know what? I know I want to run the ball, but you got to use Kirk. The good, the bad, and the ugly. He might throw a pick, but he's also going to put up big yards, and they can get that balance. This is a real good team.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Yeah, go ahead.
You want me to go?
Okay.
You don't have anything to read, do you? You got to add
Thursday Night Football. Those Vikings will take on the Redskins. Pregame festivities starting at 7:30.
And folks, we have a good one. 28-24 after 3.
I'll be impressed were the Cardinals 27-21 over the Giants. Adam Thielen had to leave the game with a hamstring injury. Matthew Stafford, Marvin Jones Jr. a 2-yard touchdown. 4th touchdown today for Jones. And then Dalvin Cook from 4 yards out. Second for him, 42-30, and a really good football game. Minnesota on the road beats the Lions.
Chandler Jones getting the ball. Congratulations. They're back to 500, 3-1. But I want to backtrack here a little bit, Michael, and talk about the game the Minnesota Vikings played today. Kirk Cousins and this offense, this is 3 straight games of 300 yards passing he's got, along with 10 total touchdowns.
Well, Kirk Cousins, I give him a lot of credit. This guy has been taking a lot of flack. Teammates criticizing him, fans criticizing him, media criticizing him, and he apologized to his wide receiver, said, I haven't been good enough. Trust me. And they trusted him. And once they trusted him, he has been on fire ever since. They have Dalvin Cook, who could be the best running back in the league, the most explosive and one of the fastest in the league. Add that to a passing attack like they have, and this is a dangerous team, the most balanced team in the NFL.
Competitive NFC North, we saw a big day from Green Bay, a big day from the Minnesota Vikings. Can the Chicago Bears keep up? They'll try to do just that in America's Game of the Week. They are taking the field. They're at Soldier Field, getting ready to host the New Orleans Saints.